Welcome to the Fantasy Cycling Podcast, featuring your hosts, Grant Gardner and John Anderson. Chapeau, you're in the mix.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cycling Podcast. Here with my homie Grant. What up, dude?
What's up? We got another rest day pod for you.
Consistency.
That's key.
Key.
Yep.
Hey, big topic of conversation lately in the training chats.
Yeah.
Heat training.
Yeah. It's big.
Just got done doing some, pushing that mower around in the southeastern heat.
Do you have a push assist mower, or is it a manual?
It hasn't been examined. They didn't like wave the wand over it.
They didn't take an iPad to check
mechanical.
and see.
There may or may not have been some mechanical doping going on.
Yeah.
As I push that mower. But dude, I'm waiting for the day when UAE starts sending like people here to do like a week-long training camp in the
Or they just mow grass.
where they ride in this freaking heat, dude, in this humidity.
Well,
it's not the heat that will get you.
It's the humidity.
It's the humidity.
Well, our buddy Hunter was over in the UK recently, and he rode his bike while he was over there for work, and he was chatting it up with some guys that had a similar club as ours. They had a Slack and everything, and
A Slack?
yeah, he was trying to get them to come over, and we could do like a sister city, cultural exchange. But
I'm not sure what our culture would be.
I know, but I think that was part of the selling point, was like heat training.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I mean, I think this might be the best place in the world for some heat training.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm ready. I'm getting lean. Just ready to do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing nothing with it,
Your boy.
I think the biggest headline from the Tour de France over the last couple of days has been the spiraling out and subsequent DNF of the Remco Evenepoel. What do you make of it, Grant? What happened? I think this is actually a big story.
Yeah. We've seen it happen before. I think he's DNF 3 Grand Tours. Maybe this was the 4th. I don't know.
Wow.
But he's also finished on the podium of the Tour last year. He's won the Vuelta. Yeah, somebody, one of the trolls in our group was saying that Remco is not good. And I said, yeah, he's won the youth classification at the Tour in 2 stages. He's won 2 stages at the Giro. He's won the GC, KOM, youth in 5 stages at the Vuelta. He's won the Olympic road race in ITT. He's won the world's road race in ITT twice, LBL 2 times, San Sebastian 3 times. Yeah, he's not good. Like, he's a good cyclist. Is he a good Grand Tour rider?
Well, he's won one.
Yeah.
If you've won a Grand Tour,
You're a good Grand Tour.
You can at least be classified as good at it.
Yes. But he's obviously not at the level that he needs to be to compete with Jonas and Pog.
Yeah. I'm no Remco, but lately I've been familiar with injuries and any kind of setback. I mean, I think different people, different bodies, different physiology, different types of riders respond to a setback and a time off the bike and an injury differently. I think the older you get, the harder that becomes. Obviously, he's young still. I just think it's as simple as, you really have to have a year of perfect training and to experience as little setback as possible in order to win the Tour de France. I mean, even Pog, when he broke his wrist that year.
He lost that year.
Yeah, it was enough. It was the edge that his opponent needed to take yellow that year. Remco, I think, last year when he podiumed looked to be right on the cusp of kind of entering into that same level that Jonas and Pog are at. I think certainly, you could aspire to that. There were no indications that you shouldn't go for that.
Yeah.
And then, he had the setback with the injury early this year. He started racing later in the year than everybody else. Everything has gone perfectly for Pog this year.
Yeah.
I still think Jonas, the year that he crashed out in, what was that? I always forget the name of the stupid race where they like 5 of them all crashed out for a tour.
Basque Country.
Basque Country race, Tour de Basque Country. Jonas was
crashing.
Yeah. I think he would have won.
Yeah, because for those that
injuries set you back. Sorry.
Yeah, for those that haven't kept up with the full season, Remco did break his collarbone in training earlier this season.
That's right.
So that was just a setback. And as we've seen, people can break their collarbone, like Jonas Abrahamson, and still win tour stages and
win a tour stage.
Yeah, and Remco
won one.
And Remco did win a stage of the tour. But at some point, it comes to call, and it catches up with you. So
I think, everyone's talking about the Bora thing for Remco. There's been rumors throughout cycling journalism ecosystem that he's good as gone to Bora.
Yeah. I think that's unrelated, though.
I do as well. I think that began before his kind of meltdown, but
also
going to be an interesting team next year if they do have Remco, because Lipowitz looks to be the future. How is that going to play out with Lipowitz? He doesn't have the star power that Remco does. Could be an amazing super domestique.
Yeah.
But he's on a better level than Roglic right now, it looks like. And a better level than Remco.
Yeah.
Today in this tour.
Yeah, from a climbing perspective for sure.
Not a time trial.
And we're looking at it from a fantasy points perspective. So
Yeah.
Remco, he still scored 260 points. Now you're stopping the clock on that because he's not going to score anymore during this race, but 260 is still a lot. That puts him in 3rd place out of all riders in the peloton, just behind Pog and Jonas. So
I expect he'll drop a couple of maybe 2, 3, 4 spots.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to fall.
He might still be in the top 9.
Yeah, and he's not going to be on the best team because he's 1,200 credits, and there's going to be someone that scores more points that's cheaper, like Kevin Vauquelin has already scored 256, and he's only 800 credits. So, but if you do have Remco on your team, he still scored you a lot of points.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of goes into value and who's scored what. I was interested to look at
Stage
winners. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we quickly turn back the clock, looking at the beginning of the race, we started with a 1,200 credit rider and Jasper Philipsen winning stage 1. Then his 800 credit teammate Van der Poel won stage 2. Merlier is 1,000. Pogačar, of course, 1,200. Remco, 1,200. Ben Healy, 600. Milan, 1,000. Just going through non-repeats here. So Yates, 1,000. Abrahamson, 600. And then, Pogačar's obviously won a lot. He's 1,200. Aaronsman, 600. And then today was the cheapest rider to win a stage, Tim Wellens, 400 credits.
So what was it? Healy, Aaronsman, and who was the third 600 credit rider? Vauquelin.
Vauquelin hasn't won a stage
this year. Right, and he might not at all.
Yeah, he's also 800 credits. But
there was another 600 in there, and then Wellens today.
No, I think it's just Aaronsman, Healy.
Okay, 2 600s.
Yeah.
Van der Poel at 8.
Yep.
And then Tim Wellens winning today's stage. We're recording on Sunday. Just saw him cross the finish line with his arms raised. And then, of course, the rider rounding out the podium, crossing the finish line
with his arms raised.
His arms raised.
Julian Alaphilippe.
2 days in a row that Alaphilippe has been in the news. Yesterday for taking the sign and putting it down his shirt, which is cool.
I would be honored if my sign was taken by Alaphilippe.
I thought that was cool. So
yeah. But then he still had to like apologize and make sure that they got a picture, which I don't even know how they found the person, but the lady got a picture with Van Aert and Alaphilippe afterwards, and they gave her like his bib number or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's interesting to look at that because, I mean, that's great amount of points on offer, the value you can get out of a stage win from a rider. We don't have a 200 credit winner yet, which pat ourselves on the back. I think top 3 200 credit riders, Jordan Jagat, Quinn Simmons, and Joseph Blackmore. 2 out of those 3 we definitely spoke about to put on your radar. We've
hyped Jagat plenty in the past too. So
yeah. But hey, any coincidence, do you think, to we've had all this talk of UAE should be quote unquote more generous with the stage wins. Today they said hold my Amstel and put Tim in the break, which they're entitled to do, and he ends up winning the actual current Belgian national champ.
Yeah. As
one famous Belgian rider exits the race, and the quote comes from Pog, I feel sorry for him. And then the next day, they send Wellens off to take the dub. Maybe a little bit of having a little bit of fun, perhaps. What do you think?
Yeah. It could have
some
been
Remco shade, or
it could have been a nod to Belgium, or
a tip of the hat, or both. Maybe it works for both.
Yeah. Which you were like, UAE is not going to gift stages unless they gift them to their own riders. So I think that was part of it. I think Wellens probably, he was there at the right opportunity. They didn't need him today to pace. And then it's a little gift before the mountains where he's going to be burying himself on Ventoux and other climbs. I do think, well, it's interesting. It was almost a Belgian podium. It was Wellens, Campenaerts, and then Van Aert lost the sprint for third.
Embarrassing.
Wash. So yeah, it was definitely a Belgian day, the day after the Belgian hope for the general classification had to withdraw from the race.
Not to mention a very important 12th place finish for Belgium.
Yeah, who's that?
Finally, Thibaut Nice.
Oh, your boy
got me some points. So I've got a point for every rider right now because I gotten some from Ana Rubio yesterday.
Hey, that's impressive to have no goose eggs. So I still have one in Brent Van Moor, another Belgian, and I'm hoping that a breakaway day comes soon.
Okay, so let me give my plug for playing fantasy cycling. I got to both enjoy the stage for what it was yesterday and today. Rooting on favorite riders, enjoying the entertainment of who's going to win, what's going to happen in the GC battle, so on and so forth. And I also got to cheer for minor place riders that ordinarily I wouldn't be paying any attention to. Ana Rubio yesterday, found myself rooting for that group. I think they got gobbled up by the peloton, but I was like, come on, please just make it into the top 10.
Yeah.
And then today for Thibaut Nice. This is the fun thing about having 9 people that you've picked to kind of pay attention to. Hey, so sprint competition, switching subjects.
Yeah, and that's another competition that gives you interest mid-stage too, is like who's going for the points, and then you get points for people that are in the top of the the sprint classification, but then you also get points if somebody scores the most sprint points for the day. So if you've got somebody in the breakaway and they're just gobbling up points by nature of being the first to cross the line, not because they're sprinting for it, then you could potentially get fantasy points for their participation in the breakaway. But the general classification, if you will, of the points competition.
Yeah. Here's the question. Let me pose it to you because you're going to I want to hear your answer. Will we have a sprinter worth 1,000 credits or more on the best team at the end of the tour?
Right now, it looks like no.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing because I did pick Jonathan Milan. It's going to be tough for him. I mean, he will get, if he actually wins the green jersey, he will get bonus points at the end of the race. So he doesn't have to win a stage to get those points.
Yeah.
The problem is, does Pogačar win the green jersey and then it's null and Milan doesn't get that, which, it's disappointing that someone like Milan is not going to potentially get to compete for the green jersey if Pogačar wins a bunch of stages in this last week. So we've got 6 stages left. If we look at opportunities for Milan, he's not going to win on stage 16. That's guaranteed. It's Mont Ventoux. Stage 17, he has an opportunity. It's a little bumpy, though. Like, it could be a breakaway day. So that's one potential stage. He's definitely not going to win 18 or 19. And then he's probably not going to win 20. So he's really only got 2 stages left. And even then...
And he's got to win the overall. So he's got to get those intermediates.
Yeah, he's got to win the intermediates too. If you look at the current standings of the points competition for the green jersey, right now Milan has 251, Pogačar has 223, and Evenepoel has 210. So it really is between those 3.
Evenepoel could win it if he wanted to.
Yes.
Or if he had made it to the end of today's stage, which he was in one of those breakaway groups,
Yeah.
I think he was in group 3. Yeah, I mean, if he'd ended up making it,
I mean, he would potentially be leading the classification if he had survived that one day he was in the breakaway with Ricard.
Yes. Yeah. You're right.
So it's on a knife edge for Evenepoel for sure. It's just, they get like 20 points for winning the stage, and Pogačar could potentially win 2 or 3 stages this week. So
do you think a traditional sprinter is going to win on stage 21, or do you think it's going to be somebody outside that group?
I think so. I think it will be a sprint. I don't know if
like is it going to be like a sprinter sprint?
No, I think it's going to be like a Van Aert or a Bauhaus or somebody like that.
Yeah.
That's like has sprinting chops, but is more of a classics rider.
Yeah. I'm kind of betting on that too.
Yeah. I hope it's Evenepoel.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. But no, I don't think. It would be fun if Jonathan Milan won, but I don't think that's going to happen.
All right. Another question for you. Who will finish with the most points? Vauquelin, Onley, or Lipowitz?
So right now,
Did one of those 3 guys crash today in the early phases of the race? I know there was a little tumble.
Lipowitz did, yeah.
Okay.
So if we look at the rider rankings right now, Vauquelin is 5th on GC and has 256 fantasy points. Onley is 4th on GC and has 206 fantasy points. And Lipowitz is 3rd on GC and has 186 fantasy points. So it's actually in reverse order of where they are on GC in terms of how many points they have because of what they've done on stage finishes. Not just where they are in terms of the classification rankings. Right now, it looks like Lipowitz is the most likely to finish on the podium depending on how things go in the mountains this week. But given the lead that he has, Vauquelin looks good to win out from those 3 in terms of fantasy points, but he's got to stay with the group this week. Whereas I think Onley is more likely to stay with the group than Vauquelin is based off his climbing ability. I think it's between those two. I don't know if Lipowitz will catch up in fantasy points unless he does finish on that final podium. It'll be close.
Yeah. Another little, and that's what we're having to do. We're having to find things because I do think GC is wrapped up.
Yeah.
But that's something that'll be fun to kind of track and see how the top 5 is rounded out.
Yeah. Who do you like amongst those 3?
For fantasy points, I think Vauquelin.
Yeah.
I think
he holds the lead. Yeah.
I think he'll continue to
gobble
he's
up
close enough. He's close enough to the end to where I think he's going to keep. He's not going to be willing to lose enough time to where they'll let him go for a stage win. And that applies to both Lipowitz and Onley as well. So I think, I don't know. I haven't done the math with how much of a bump you get, but I don't think it'll be enough for Onley to edge out Vauquelin. But I think of those 3, Onley's the biggest value. Only 4.9% of people took him. I mean, he's the bigger dark horse.
Yeah.
He's obviously an up-and-comer from earlier in the season. Watching him, I just didn't expect. I mean, he said he was going for stage wins.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect him to hang around in the GC competition like he has. But I think those 3 guys are the future. Very exciting for the sport. I think those are some future GC, some future GC winners in there.
Yeah, Onley is 22, and the other guys are 24. So they're also going to go for youth. So whoever finishes in that 3rd spot, they're going to score 25 points for GC, and they're going to score 25 points for youth. So they'll get a 50-point bump, whoever finishes 3rd on the podium.
Who you think has the brightest future, Grant?
Oof. I mean, on paper, I think Lipowitz has the most hype.
It's on the best team.
Yeah. But I'm impressed with Onley's staying power of
could Ineos come after an Onley?
Would that ruin his career? No, I think I like Onley the most of those 3. I've also been a fan of Vauquelin, just seeing his rise too over the last few years. But
he's going to need a team too, or isn't his team potentially
folding? Which Ineos could sign him as well.
Should sign both of them.
Yeah.
And Lipowitz should probably stay put, and then they could have a Remco, Lipo kind of team.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for the check-in.
Yeah.
What stage are you particularly looking forward to?
I mean, Vauquelin on Tuesday. That should be pretty good entertainment there. It's a hockey stick stage. It's pretty flat up until the proper Vauquelin climb. I mean, it's pancake flat. So it's not going to, it'd be tough for it to be a breakaway day. There's not enough intermediate climbs in there in the middle to let them get a lead. I mean, 18 and 19, that 1-2 punch looks like a banger. I mean, Lelose on 18 and then Laplan on 19. Those are going to be the shakeout stages where there'll be major shifts in GC, guys falling out of the top 10, that sort of deal. So should be fun.
Give us a listen on X. I'm sorry. Follow us on X. You're already listening to us.
Yeah.
On Apple or Spotify, but we are on X. You can follow on there for the banter. The handle is listen #2 FCP. Listen to FCP. Also available on YouTube for audio only. If you want to take in this content there as well. And thanks for listening. Enjoyed it, Grant.
See ya.